will block that off so you can't go in and out there anymore. Cheops, 225 meters square, very large, 2.5 million stones. The average stones weighs over 2 tons. Here's our guide. The lady with the long dress is our guide. There goes Ekman Bauer.
Definitely. So apparently there may have been some stuff originally, but it was gone before anyone finished. We never found anything. We never found the mummy. We never. I mean, even for years we didn't know exactly whose pyramid this is until the name was found in this chamber. And since the chamber has no entrance whatsoever, the name must have been there at the time of the building of the pyramid. So he may not have even been put in there. Interesting story. Yeah, really interesting. About there, but they're not standing. Standing are about 40 feet.
Are we going to the valley today?
That will be in Luxor, not today. And if you look now in front of us on the right hand side, you can see the second pyramid of Giza, which is the pyramid of King Khephren, who was a son of King Cheops. Now Cheops is 2690 BC, this is 2650 BC. Now look up, can you see the polished limestone? Well, the whole pyramid was covered like that. If it is missing today, it is because later dynasties removed the limestone so that they can build other buildings with it. So look at the entrance. Can you see where the people are standing? All right, you have a corridor that goes underground and the burial chamber is underground. The only pyramid where the burial chamber is in the core of the pyramid is in fact Cheops. But all the others, it is in the bedrock. It's not in the pyramid itself. Now the corridor going out, move eye upwards. Can you see this entrance covered with granite? Okay, that's just the second corridor. So you have two corridors leading to the burial chamber. And if you look at the base, you can see the granite. Look at the base there. You had 2 rows of granite, okay? But the rest was limestone. Only 2 rows of granite. All right, look at the third pyramid now. This is Mycerinus. And by the way, the names that we use today, Cheops, Khephren, Mycerinus, are the Greek names of those kings. Now, the ancient names were Khufu, Khafra, and Menkaura. So, the king Mycerinus is a successor of the family of Cheops and also Khephren. And he died as a young man, and this is the reason that his pyramid is smaller than the other 2. Now, if you look, or if you compare the sizes of the 3 pyramids, Cheops is the highest. It is 146 meters high. Khephren is 137 meters high, and Mycerinus is 66 meters high. So it is much smaller. Now, entrance is not this upper hole, it is where you see the staircase. There's no one here because it's being restored. It's not allowed to go in. Can you see the granite at the base? Well, he wanted to cover his whole pyramid with the granite. Okay, but then he died. So they left the granite on the ground and never continued this outer casing. Now look at the small pyramids behind. They belong to the 3 wives of King Mycerinus. So these are 3 of the 6 smaller pyramids. The burial chamber inside Mycerinus is also underground. And it's interesting because the roofing system, when they first entered, it appeared like a vault and not a pointed roof, which was again quite a surprise. I mean, you are moving 1 or 2 from the sides of the ceiling to see how did they manage a vault. inside a pyramid, so that each pyramid is supposed to have the 2 temples and the causeway. Then each pyramid is supposed to have at least 2 boats, and they were for the funerary journey, and then the smaller pyramids for the queens. So that a pyramid layout consists then of a large pyramid, 2 temples and a causeway, smaller pyramids, and then at least 2 boats. Now in 1954, they started excavations in this area here, and they found behind the pyramid of King Cheops, which is the large pyramid, a rectangular pit. So they started removing the stones that covered this pit, and they found inside pieces of wood, cedar wood from Lebanon, and they found about 1,000 pieces. So they started restoring the wood. Look on your right, can you see the boat?
Yeah.
So that's where it is, and the rectangular pit is under the museum. Okay, so they just built it above the pit and then started restoring. It took years and years to restore. You can imagine, wood, as long as it remains underground, where there is no... Alright, these are tombs where you see the stone for sons of the king. Another boat pit is in fact in the corner there, but it's still closed. And now look across the windows, and you can see the boat. It is 43 meters long, alright? And this is built out of about 1,400 pieces of wood, and it has a cabin, and it has 12 oars. Can you see now the boat? Okay, so this is a boat. Now why? Why would they have a boat? Alright, you have to, it's not only to transfer the soul, but they believed that surrounding earth is eternal water. That means that the minute the soul leaves its pyramid, it needs a boat. So first for the underground journey, the journey into the second life, and also for the transport of the soul in all its journeys, and it's also for the transport of goods to bring them inside. And the sun boat is very little. The sun boat is because each king wanted to be unified with the sun god and to have a sunrise and a sunset journey. And that's why we have at least 2 boats. But the funerary boat is also because of the soul. So that's why the difference between the sun boat and the funerary boat is really minimum. They're almost the same thing. So this is a good example of one of the boats from the Old Kingdom. Alright, if you look on the left, the whole area used to be stone quarries, and out of this stone they built the pyramids. Okay? Now, if you look at the cemetery, can you see there? That's a modern one. But this is where the Valley Temple of the 3rd pyramid used to be. Now, can you see the restoration work? Can you see there? But it is 20 meters high, and it is over 70 meters long, so it's a huge sphinx. But if you look at the face, normally it's supposed to have a royal face, but today it has no snake at the forehead, no nose, and no beard. We had a dynasty known as the Mamluks, and they used his face as a target to shoot at. So that's why they destroyed the face of the Sphinx. But the Sphinx is a protecting god. It is the king represented as a protecting god, and he is there to protect the pyramid behind him. Now look between his front paws, his front legs. Can you see a granite stone? Alright, this is known as the dream stele. The dream stele. Now try to imagine the time when the Sphinx was built. We are going to...
That's it. You should be the front.
You are most welcome in our country and in our Papyrus Institute. May I have your attention for a few minutes to give you an idea about papyrus? Papyrus generally was used from the very beginning of the documented pharaonic history that goes back to 3200 BC until the beginning of the 10th century AD, when the Arabs went to Samarkand and learned how to produce a modern Chinese paper, which was far more productive speed-wise and less costly. Since then, papyrus vanished from the whole world completely, until a few years ago, when some institutes in our country rediscovered the old formulas of making papyrus, this plant. I'm sorry, the plant itself about 2.5 or 3 meters in length, but now I have only this one. Okay. The ancient Egyptians considered as the sacred plant for many reasons. The first reason because its flower is looking like sun rays, and they adored Ra, the god of sun, as they believe. And the second reason, because the age of the stem